All right, what better way to celebrate the Christmas season than to talk about how to get rid of that Christmas belly, which we all probably got during the Christmas season. So I'm going to run over some basic concepts, talk about some controversial things, and talk about common misconceptions that go along with losing weight, because there are a lot of them. Some of them are perpetuated by a market designed to sell you things you don't need. Losing weight is very simple at its most basic premise. So I'm going to start off with the really basic concepts, and then I'm going to expand on those a little bit. But really, you can start as easy as simple as you want, and we can get as deep as we need to into this, because this is a topic that will continue to expand and expand. Weight loss is a huge market. There's a lot of research back there, and there's a lot of misinformation. Companies trying to sell you things you don't necessarily need. I'm here, I'm not selling you anything. What I'm going to tell you is my story. I'm going to tell you how I've done it and how I've been very successful at it. And it's not complicated. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. The best way that I can recommend that you get rid of that Christmas weight is through calorie restriction. It might seem basic and it might seem obvious, but that is the essential, most basic way that you lose weight. You have to make sure that you're burning more calories than you're consuming. And there's an old saying, and it's that you cannot outrun a bad diet. So what that means is you need to work on calorie restriction. You need to work on eating less and not necessarily exercising more. Now, there's an excellent combination where you include exercise and restrictive diet, and that is when you hit the sweet spot. But if you were to only to focus on one, I would always recommend working on your diet before exercising. To give you an idea of why that is, take a can or a drink of Pepsi, for example. A 20-ounce drink of Pepsi contains roughly 240-250 calories. You would need to walk between 30 and 60 minutes to get rid of that. And that would only get rid of that and nothing else, which is where the saying comes from that you can't outrun a bad diet. That is just a Pepsi. If you're having a Pepsi with anything, with a bag of chips, with a burger, you'll never be able to walk off the calories that you're consuming. There just isn't enough time in a day. Plus, there's other things you're consuming, even nutritious things, that are all adding to your calorie intake. So, what you have to do is you have to restrict that diet. You need to bring your calories down low enough that you always have a deficit. That will trigger your body to start burning fat. It'll also trigger your body to start burning muscle. So the key is to get to that sweet spot, which is in the 500 calorie deficit for both men and women. A 500 calorie deficit is low enough that it's obtainable, it'll burn fat in a slow and steady pace, but it's not so extreme that it'll trigger your body to start burning muscle. Now, when you're in a calorie deficit, you need to ensure that you're eating enough protein. You need to eat protein, and I would highly recommend that you also exercise with resistance training. This will trigger to your body that you want to maintain muscle, and it'll help decrease muscle wasting. Of course, how much you have a calorie deficit depends on your goals. If you're quite obese or incredibly obese and not very muscular in the first place, and you want a more extreme weight loss, then you can always up your calorie deficit even further. 750 to 1,000 calories. You'll see increased weight loss. You'll probably also experience fatigue and muscle loss. So you need to be aware of that. But there are ways that you can accelerate the process just through more restrictive dieting. Once again, the more restrictive your diet, the more I would encourage you to make sure that the food you do consume is high in protein and nutrients. What little you eat needs to be loaded with nutrients, as you're not going to have a lot of ability to consume them. Also, you would really want to add a little resistance training to make sure that what muscle you are maintaining is still there. I have a controversial take on this notion, and I'm going to let you know what it is, and I'm going to tell you that it's true for me, and I know it'll be true for others. You do not have to stop eating what you love in order to do a calorie deficit diet. You can eat anything you want in moderation. So if you want to enjoy some Christmas cake, you want to enjoy a Christmas muffin, or enjoy a Christmas beer, you can do all that. But it has to be incorporated into your diet. If you have a beer, that's something else that you're not going to eat. So say in the morning you have some type of nutritious oatmeal, or in the evening you have a large salad that is most of your calories for the day. If you're having that muffin or you're having that cake, that means you're having half that salad, or you're having half as much oatmeal in the morning. Those are the trade-offs you have to make. It's a little bit like a Weight Watchers concept, in which Weight Watchers doesn't restrict what you can eat at all. It just, you have to be aware of what you're eating and the amounts thereof. So this is the exact same. You can eat anything you want, though I wouldn't recommend you go on an all cake or all muffin diet, certainly not an all beer diet, but you don't have to avoid those things, but you do have to eat them in moderation, and your overall diet therefore needs to shrink in the same amount of moderation. If you have a 500 calorie muffin, you're taking 500 calories from your salad, or 500 calories from your oatmeal or your fruit. Those calories have to come from somewhere, because you have to maintain the deficit, but you can still eat what you want to eat. So technically nothing is off limits, but you'll need a few tools in order to do it. You'll most likely need some type of calorie journal. So you'll need to keep track of what you're eating because your margin for error is so low. 500 calories can come and go in the matter of a single sandwich. So it's really important to keep track of calories, and then you need to have a ballpark figure of exactly what you're aiming to do. So if you're a man, you get about 2,500 calories a day. You'd want to reduce that to about 2,000. If you're a woman, you get about 2,000 calories a day. You want to reduce that to about 1,500. And then you keep a calorie count of what you've been eating and make sure you stay within that window. There are more in-depth guides online that you can follow, which will better match up to how physically fit you are, how obese you are, how tall you are, and then you can fine-tune those calories a little more. But for me, I never needed to go that far. As long as you get in those ballpark windows and you keep reducing your calories while maintaining a healthy, nutritious diet on the side, I find weight loss will always come. Now, there's a couple of misconceptions regarding weight loss that I'd like to go over. A few of them involve spot reduction. So spot reduction is not a possibility. So what is spot reduction? Spot reduction is things like doing crunches in order to burn off that bare belly, doing arm exercises in order to hit that really terrible spot that women seem to have problems with under their arm that hang due to fatty or loose skin. You cannot spot reduce. Crunches in no way reduce the size of your belly. If anything, it'll increase the size. The same thing goes for arms. If you're working out your arms are going to get bigger, not smaller. What that type of stuff is, that's called spot reduction, and that's a myth. The only way you're going to lose weight in your belly is to lose weight over your whole body. Your body will determine what spots lose weight the first. Usually whatever part of your body added the most weight last is the spot that's going to go first. So for men, it's places like the gut. In women, it's the butt, the thighs, places like that. I'll do a whole video talking specifically about spot reduction and get into that a little more and exactly why it doesn't work and what spot reduction is actually doing to your body. Because there's a really interesting system at play when it comes to doing exercises that target specific spots of the body and what it's actually doing. And what it's not doing is it's not burning off fat, it's building muscle under the fat, but we'll get into that at a different day. Another misconception is that diet drinks can help with weight loss. There was a time where I would absolutely agree with that statement, that diet drinks would definitely help with weight loss. I totally believe that because it's, once again, weight loss is not a complicated thing. You reduce your calories, you're going to lose fat. And what these diet drinks do is they reduce the calories that you consume. But I'm also a man of science, and I know recently that science has shown that these sugar-free diet drinks are actually linked to weight increase. There is a caveat here. If you want to lose weight quick over a short period of time, say for a single event, a Christmas party, a New Year's party, something like that, studies do show that weight loss drinks can temporarily help you lose weight. But over a longer period of time and repeated use, it's linked to weight gain. And there's a few reasons behind why that might be. One of the ideas is that it triggers an appetite hormone in your brain, which causes you to want to eat more. Your body's expecting that sugar, it's not getting that sugar, and it's triggering those effects in your body. So technically what it's doing is increasing your cravings, which depending on your level of willpower, you might be able to overpower that. But where it's triggering that constantly, if you're always having these drinks, it might eventually catch up, in which case it's going to cause you to gain weight as you ultimately eat more. Another idea behind why that might be is insulin confusion. So what they think is the sweet taste triggers an insulin release in your body, but without the actual sugar, it's causing a disruption, and then it signals to your body to store fat. There are a few other concepts as well, like the poor diet theory, which is that if you're somebody who drinks a lot of diet drinks, you probably have a poor diet to begin with, which doesn't include a lot of fruits and vegetables, which is a possibility, a lot of theory in that, but we can get into all those details in a more dedicated video, specifically on diets, which is a really, really deep topic in the fitness industry for a lot of different reasons. Number one being the money involved and how much is at stake to trick you into buying weight loss products. And that's basically it for my holiday season, how to lose that beer belly. Once again, I have went through cutting phases, which is another way of saying a dieting phase, quite a few times. I've lost 20, 30, and most recently 45 pounds with just doing walking exercise with a calorie restricted diet. So I'm down 45 pounds in 5 months. It's quite a lot of weight while trying to maintain some muscle. I practice what I preach. I'm doing everything that I talked about in this video, and I know it can work for you. If you have questions or comments, or you want to talk about specifics, we can do that down in the comment section. Thank you for joining. But continuing on the topic of dieting, how about we go on to the next topic, which is diet pills. What are diet pills? How do they work? And do they work? So check out that video up here. Thanks a lot for joining. Please like and subscribe. It's still a new channel, and I'd love to have you come back here. Thanks for joining again.